All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 9th of April. Feels like we've been doing remote learning about 2 years now, but I think it's been a couple weeks. And today we're going to go over an orientation to talk a little bit about GoToMeeting, because we've been having conversations about what might make the most sense for video conferencing for primary division students as well as parents. And we have several different options. And as we'll talk about, GoToMeeting is a really, really good option. And so what I want to share with you and then do a demo. So I don't think I put that in there, but right before Q&A, we'll do a demo. Is just real briefly, why are we doing this? Because obviously we have Google Hangout Meets, and that's part of our Google suite that we have. And there's other options besides these. Why are we talking about GoToMeeting? I want to talk about how you'll log in, and I've been in communication with Jeremy, and we're in the process of getting accounts set up. A few of you may have received already some invitations, and the rest of you will be getting those later today. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this idea of fixed rooms. And then I want to, well, I guess I put it in, do a demo of how to start and facilitate a conference, kind of how that works. And then we'll talk about how you can put this into your calendar if you want to do additional meetings, and then we'll do some Q&A. So just real briefly, one of the biggest reasons to use GoToMeeting is because you have more control. And so when you're in a GoToMeeting, you have a button, which I'll show you in just a minute, that says mute all. And so you have the ability with one click when you're meeting with a group to mute everyone's microphone. And so here in the Hangout Meet, currently, only the organizer, who is Clint, has that ability, and he has to do that on a case-by-case basis individually. So that's nice. And the second thing is GoToMeeting allows the meeting to basically be in a holding or a waiting room mode until an organizer arrives. And so the way we have talked about setting this up is that each of the homeroom teachers, as well as Clint and some members of our support staff, will be organizers, and so that is really nice. Now, actually, Google Hangout Meet just made a change in the last week where that can happen as well, but that is that's a really good feature. You can also end the meeting for everybody when it's done, and then also we're able to set this up in advance so that every homeroom teacher or assistant can be an organizer in there together. This is also a platform we're supporting and paying for right now. So we have a new phone system that we rolled out about 1.5 years ago called Jive. Part of that, because they're owned by a company named LogMeIn, is GoToMeeting. So we have extra licenses for this that can take care of all our primary teachers and assistants. We don't have to spend any money, but we are already spending money, actually. We're getting more value out of what we're already paying every month. And we have what's called enterprise level support. And that's the fancy words down there about service level agreement means if something goes wrong, we've got people that are going to come help us. And because we're paying for that. And if we were to do something that would be free, you really don't have any recourse if there's a problem or something happens when you're using a free platform. And then the last thing, and I know that's kind of a scary red picture there in the corner, but there's been a lot of headlines about Zoom jacking. I just did the screenshot actually from Google News that, it's just lots and lots of negative attention and press. And there's some stuff going on that we certainly wouldn't want to be a part of anything happening at school, where different classes have had, people jump into them and do inappropriate things. And so I'm glad that Zoom is taking some steps to address that. But we, have not seen any headlines like this for GoToMeeting. So it's very private, very secure, and the reputation is there in terms of, not having those kinds of headlines. That doesn't mean something can't happen, later today or tomorrow. This is a dynamic situation, but GoToMeeting is a very secure platform, and it's not having the problems that Zoom is having today. So I have sent of you, and then sending the rest soon, and in the wrongs. Fix my spelling there. An invitation that is an email message that you're going to want to click on and accept. That is also something from a security standpoint you want to be very careful about, right? Because anytime something's saying, hey, you know, click here, log in, I'm letting you know now that it's coming. When you receive emails, as I know we all have, by, you know, someone pretending to be Nathan saying, hey, I really need an iTunes gift card right now, but I can't get to the phone. You know, can you send me the gift card? I mean, that's happened multiple times in the last few years, and I'm sure it will continue to. We want to be careful, but I'm letting you know the email that came from LogMeIn, just, you know, in the last hour, and then additional ones are going to come. Those are legitimate, and you can accept that, and then you're going to be able to log in on this website. So I have shared these links with everybody who was invited to this event on the calendar. When you log in, you're going to put, I'll use my little fancy laser pointer here since I have Google Slide. So down here, when you're on the login screen, you're going to actually type your address. But after that, oops, make my little thing go away. After that goes away, you can see it will give you that prompt that says sign in with Google. So you actually don't have to type your Google password again. If you're logged in, you'll just click sign in with Google, and then you'll need to probably do your two-step. So you'll use your phone or whatever method you use for your two-step to authenticate. I recommend making a little bookmark for that web link. You can see this is the top of my Chrome browser, and I have a folder that I call Casady Links, and I'm using our help desk all the time now for tickets. And then I just have a link right there on my bookmark bar that's called My Meetings, and I'll show you here in a minute how to add that if you want to. So what I'd like to do now is I'm gonna exit, and I'm just gonna open up a new tab on my browser, and you can see this is my little bookmark here that says My Meetings, and that's the global.gotomeeting.com link. And I have already logged in, so it is going to immediately take me in to my meeting area and allow me to go ahead and join meetings, start meetings, or create meetings. If you want to create a bookmark like this, the first thing to do is make sure your bookmarks bar is on. If you don't see your bookmarks bar down here in Chrome, you can go to View and choose Always Show. And then when you're on a link like this that you want, you can simply drag that link down. Let's see, maybe I wanted to put it first. I could put it right here. I just took this icon of this lock, and I drug it down to that bar. If I don't want that, I can right click or two finger tap that and delete it. But these are the things that I go to a lot, and so I have a bookmark right there that makes that really fast. So we have talked about and have created persistent, may not be interrupted by a spam call, persistent rooms, and these are actually going to change and be created this afternoon. We really don't want this to say West Friar. We want this to just be like Casady, you know, the blue area. And so we're going to be creating these today from a different account because we didn't actually realize that the account you create the first one from is going to do this. So the addresses here are going to change, but this is an example of what you're going to see in GoToMeeting when you go to rooms. You're going to have access to your home room, and then I think, Clint, you sent also, wasn't it there, in addition to that, there was for the virtual enrichment. Let's take a look. This is the document that has those listed. So we've got all of our areas, and then were we going to do another one, or just use the homerooms, I guess, for the
Wes, I think a lot of us are having trouble seeing your screen. I'm not sure it's coming through.
Okay. Wow. Has that been the case since the beginning there?
It froze up after the third or fourth slide, I think.
Okay.
You were talking about the bookmarks bar, and then I realized that nothing was
happening.
Yeah.
Cox Cable is having internet trouble in our area of Oklahoma City, and so they had said they were going to have that fixed. Are you able to see my GoToMeeting screen now?
Something just popped up.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to start again. Thank you for interrupting and letting me know.
Sure.
Now, yes, Marcia's saying it's small. If you are seeing it small, you need to turn off your Hangouts grid extension. So up there at the top of your window, where you have your chat and you've got your people up there. You want to click on the Hangouts grid button and turn that off so that you're not choosing to have everything small, and then it should be big. Yay, okay, great. All right, how about now? Clint, are you able to see my GoToMeeting?
I see that you are presenting to everyone, and
do you see where it says GoToMeeting, my personal meeting room?
No.
Okay, let's find out in the chat. Are others able to see? It's frozen. No. Oh, lovely. Okay.
Hey, Wes, both your live video feed and your screen, so your camera and your screen are both frozen.
Okay.
Oh,
Why don't we
actually,
do this? Jeremy, do you mind presenting? And can we go to your GoToMeeting screen?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that.
Let me get it pulled up real quick. I've got way too many tabs open right now.
It's all right. So what we are about to see, hopefully, is the login screen, which has all of your upcoming meetings and then the rooms that you have access to. And so we and Clint, we're basically setting up a home room, virtual room for each one, and that's it, right? One for each.
For the homeroom, yes, and then we will give access to all the teachers who will be leading synchronous times to the areas that they need access to the homerooms.
Yep. So that's what we've started. So we're going to see Jeremy's screen here in just a minute. Look at that. And Jeremy, if you'll click on the rooms over there on the left side, because you're seeing one-time meetings, look at that. He sees the blue area. So this is perfect. So go ahead and click on blue area. So this is representative of what you all will see when you log in. GoToMeeting allows you, if you want, to create your own conferences. So you could meet directly with a parent or with your team, and that would be called like a one-time meeting. But what we're creating, what we've discussed, is we're going to be having regular meetings for each home room. So we're creating rooms, virtual rooms, for each of the areas. And so right now, what we're looking at is it says the blue area, and I know the text is really small, but there's a button there, and Jeremy, you can go ahead and mouse over it and click on it, and it just says copy invitation under the name of the, just up a little bit, there you go, copy invitation. So that can be copied and pasted right into an email that you send to parents. And one of the great things about this is you are not going to have to do that every time you have a homeroom meeting. What you will want the parents to know is what time we're going to be having the meetings. And so Clint is putting together that schedule, and we're working with communications for them to be able to show that. But Jeremy, if you'll go ahead and go back to GoToMeeting. So we're setting these up for you. Now, when you click on that, okay, so let's go ahead and click create meeting under room. And then we'll get Marcia, we'll get that question in just a minute. Marcia's asking about who will send the invitations. Go ahead and click create meeting. And what I want to show you is we're going to go ahead and create these so that they're all set up. But underneath the more tab, you can just do a demo if you want. So just do test, Jeremy, just type like test or whatever. And then make this an online meeting room. So this is going to be a meeting room. It's not going to just be one time. And now if you click on more, this is where we're putting in each email address of each homeroom teacher and assistant. And that way, and you can put my name in there as an example, Jeremy, just start to type Fryer. I'm a user in the account. So that way it's going to be showing up for everybody. We won't need to require a meeting password. We could do that if we needed to, but we haven't had a need to do that. That would really, let's say one of the bad scenarios, and this has happened with Zoom, is that sometimes people will share a link for a conference on social media, and they'll put that out publicly so that people who are not supposed to join, have access to be able to join. We would probably, if that happened, just delete the room and recreate it, and so that would reset everything. But you could add a meeting password if you wanted to, but at this time we don't think that is actually going to be required in order to make this secure. So let's get a few. Well, let's go ahead and spin this up. If you could cancel there. Well, okay, there's a test. So here's a test room. Here's what you need to do.
Can we zoom a little bit to the text area? It's hard for some of us to see the.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you just do command, there you go. Perfect.
Right.
That's better. Yeah. So so these are the rooms that he has currently. Let's go ahead and just play with the blue room. So go ahead and click on blue area down there. And interesting. Maybe we want to stick with the IDs and we want to worry about it being a customized room. So here's what you do to start. You log into your GoToMeeting. You click on the rooms, and there's a blue start button there that says start. And so Jeremy, go ahead and click that. Now Jeremy is already in a conference. It's going to prompt the first time he does this, and you can go ahead and do that, to download the app. That is one difference between the Hangouts Meet on a computer and the GoToMeeting, because you always have to download something for the GoToMeeting to work. And so you'll probably have to go down to your downloads, Jeremy, and click and launch that. So this is going to be something too that when the communication is sent to parents, and to answer Marcia's question, my understanding is Clint, working with our communications team, is going to communicate with parents about this in terms of how these schedules work and where these links
they'll see the schedule. We'll probably send a separate, more technical email about how to get GoTo and those details on Monday, and then we will make it very clear that when we start our synchronous meetings on Tuesday, it's going to be a practice day, and there's going to be some hiccups, and it might take a day or two to get everyone rolling smoothly. So
right. And Andrea has a good question in the chat. She asked, will parents have to download the GoToMeeting as well, and will they get training and stuff? So yes, I think we should provide. I think I don't know. We have a couple ways to go about this, but we certainly can provide a video of instructions with some instructions to parents. I mean, if we wanted to, we could provide some live training to be able to go through the steps. It's really going to be the device that they want to connect with. That can be a computer, that can be an iPad, that could be a phone, but whatever device they're going to connect with, there is a link on the invitation. Actually, Jeremy, if you go back to the GoToMeeting tab, please. And then you can, right there at the very bottom, when you copy and paste the invitation, at the very bottom it says new to GoToMeeting. Click the app now and be ready when your first meeting launches. And so that really is that parents will need to use. And so the communication will share that with them so that they'll be ready. Another thing that's a really good idea is to go ahead and, at least initially, join about 15 minutes early. And you can let your parents know that, hey, this, as we get started with this, we're going to be opening the room 15 minutes early. So let's say you're starting at 2 o'clock. We're going to start at 1:45. So if you'd like to come a little bit early, go ahead and do that. And then they can also practice, muting and unmuting their mic. You have the ability when you're in a GoToMeeting to, mute everyone, but they have to individually unmute. And so, they're going to, get familiar with that. But this is one of those things that, we're going to figure out fairly readily. It's at the bottom of the screen, kind of like it is on the Hangout. You click the red circle that has a microphone icon on it, and then you're going to be able to, speak. Jeremy, if you can click in your downloads at the bottom, I think you're going to need to click.
I've already got it.
You got it? Okay, great. So go ahead and fire this one up. So click start again. That's right. You got multiple screens going.
So
right.
Do you see the window when it should be up now? You guys probably don't see that. Let me change my view here real quick. I'm gonna have to stop presenting and then represent.
Jeremy's got the command center there with several different screens. So.
Okay, so you should see, I'm going to drag this window over. Can you guys see that?
Yay, great. So this is once you click start and you have the GoToMeeting ready to go, you just click OK, I'm ready. And now, as an organizer, you have just opened up the room for other people to join. Now, let me also say this. we can arrange for some folks on our technology team to be there and to help you as you're getting going with this. This is going to be actually in chat. How many of us have facilitated some kind of a virtual meeting at this point? Has anybody done that? I know there's different, Bible study groups and, different organizations. There's, a lot of people have been. Dallas says yes. And Carla is, Ty. So, we've got some folks in the rooms with experience, but that's something for you all to talk about. And if you all would like for a member of our technology team, that could be me, it could be, another member of our team to be there to help you as you do this, we certainly can. So down at the bottom, we see the mic is muted and Jeremy's camera is on. Jeremy, if you can please click on the icon of the people where it says 1. Right now, he's the only person who's been in there. Okay, but hey, look at that lovely red microphone with a line through it. Mute all. So that's the powerful button there that we could have. You could have up to 150 people in here. Probably you're not going to have that many, but you have that opportunity to mute individuals or to just mute everyone else except yourself. And the reason why that is sometimes needed is if you have a bunch of people in here. And somebody has their microphone and they're having a microphone problem with feedback or whatever, that can be very distracting for everyone. And so being able to do that is a good thing. Jeremy, if you can click on the next tab over. So just like we're using chat right now in the Hangouts Meet, there's a chat icon so that folks will be able to chat. And so the way that GoToMeeting is set up, like the Google Hangout, everybody has a choice of having their camera on or off, having their microphone on or off, and using chat. But like I said, some of the big differences are, you have more control over this in terms of deciding when somebody's going to be, when the meeting actually starts and when it ends. And then also significant is the persistent room that we can share the organizer. Typing, can you turn off the ability for people to themselves? And I don't think so. We can do a little research, but I think that that is a feature where an organizer can mute individuals. You can mute the entire group, but people have to choose to unmute themselves. And I think that's just kind of that's true in the Hangouts Meet as well, but that's a good question. Keep the questions coming in the chat. Jennifer asked, can we mute all and then unmute just one at a time? Yes, definitely. So you can do that. Well, okay, I say that. You need to, yeah, Jeremy's saying it's a privacy issue. You can only mute people and then unmute yourself. But individuals, and like Jeremy's saying, as far as privacy, they're the ones making the decision. Hey, right now, I want to go ahead and share my microphone. I want to share my camera. That is a decision that they're making. If you go ahead and click the X there, Jeremy, I want to show one more thing and keep the questions coming in the chat. In the very upper left corner above Jeremy's picture, you might not be able to see it, but there's a little dot. Jeremy, please click that. The dot, it says REC, and yep, click Start Recording. And so that is all you need to do in order to start your recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
You will hear a message like you just heard that notifies everybody. And that'll be something that, with Clint, you all will decide on policies for. I think in general, the policy, as we're meeting with
no longer being recorded.
Meetings with students, it is typical now that we're having faculty record the meetings. And so if somebody missed it, it's possible to be able to share. So yeah, Dallas is saying if you mute your class, and little Johnny keeps on unmuting himself. Well, okay, that's a good point. Jeremy, let's do this. Let's go ahead and close this meeting. And I want you to, yeah, so in the meeting for everybody, which is great. Now we're going to have you fire up that blue room because I've already got the information for that one and I can join. And so Jeremy is going to go join the blue area sort of practice room. I'm going to do the same thing. So hopefully now in a minute, you're going to be able to see me or both Jeremy and I in the same meeting. I need to make sure my microphone is turned off. So hopefully we don't get lots of, all right, there we go. And so now, Jeremy, if you click on the people up there at the top, and then click your mouse on me, Friar W, we can see the controls. So you have the ability to mute and unmute. And I think if I wasn't a presenter, oh yeah, dismiss. So to Dallas's point, if there's somebody who's being disruptive, you can just dismiss them, which is a nice way of saying you're kicked out. So, I mean, if something like that would happen, there are some tools here that allow you to hopefully not have somebody, be so disruptive that they, are stopping the whole meeting from continuing. The good news is, I mean, and we have not had any problems with this. We have not had any issues like Zoom with unauthorized people coming in or anything like that. So, knock on wood. We've been, emphasizing Google Hangout meets, and then we were talking about GoToMeeting as well. We haven't had any of those issues. But if there would be something and we would just need to end it, whoever is an organizer, any of the teachers that are in the room could simply click the red dot in the corner and end meeting for all, and it's over. But we have not.
And part of our
had that happen. Go ahead.
Part of our communication to our parents will be, explaining this, that it will ask that parents are nearby just to make sure that their children are being respectful and using this connection time appropriately. And if it's something that we need to deal with on a case-by-case basis, I'm happy to have those conversations with parents as well.
Yeah. Another feature, which is there in the bottom right corner, right now it says meeting is unlocked. That means anybody who has the link to that would be able to join. I don't anticipate you really needing to use that. But if, for instance, if you would want to or whatever, if you were having a confidential parent meeting, you'd want to be not meeting in the room for the home room. Probably you'd set up a separate meeting, but you can click locked, and then other people who even have the link, can't join. It's just another way that this platform provides a lot of security for, preventing things from taking place that we don't want to have happen, like having people join that, we don't want to have joining. And that'll be the password thing will be something that we'll talk about. I don't think at this time it's something that we'll need to do, but I think we'll probably also reach out to our GoToMeeting, I guess, whatever, Log Me In is the name of the parent company, but we'll visit with them just to make sure we follow the best practice for that. So Monty's asking a question. She says, can we share the link in Seesaw parent announcements? Why, yes. Great question, Monty. In fact, I think that is going to probably be a best practice as we are using Seesaw for the interaction with students as well as parents. They will get that announcement in their family app, but you definitely can, and that'll be something too, as far as Clint, to kind of work out. It doesn't, in this kind of thing, oftentimes hurt to over communicate. So there'll be an email that people will have, and then there will be a opportunity in Seesaw. So yes, Dallas is asking, can we do practice runs with a group of 3 to 5 teachers? I think that is a fantastic idea, and I would love to do this. So we've got 24 of us in the room right now. This is a awareness level, but it's not real until you're actually doing it. By the end of today, we should have all of your accounts set up, and you should be able to log in. But yes, absolutely.
That's why we cleared the schedule for Monday, was to allow for us to practice with each other.
Perfect. Yeah. That'll be great. So by then we'll have the room set up. You'll have your account set up. And then, Clint, you can just kind of let us know what you want. But the rooms are already going to be created. So, it really will just be a matter of people logging in, go into their room, and then we can practice. And you can have if you'd like, you have parents or siblings or friends or others, or if there's, some other people that you want to have test or whatever, we can be testing internally with just our team. And if that's what we're most comfortable doing first. But I know Shelly, my wife, was testing some Hangouts with a couple students. I think Ty's son was helping her, and it is good to have that practice. So yes, Ty, I think yeah, I think you are. I'll verify because all of our accounts will be set up, but you'll be able to, just like you can with the Hangouts Meet, to set that up, and you will be able to, have individual meetings as well. Jeremy, why don't I'm going to try to. I'm going to see if my internet. Are you still hearing me? Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to see if this will work. Are you all able to see my calendar? That's a scary calendar. Let's go to Saturday. So Clint, can you see my calendar?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So when you are setting up, this is kind of the last thing I wanted to demo, and then we'll see what other questions come. When you want to set up just a one-time meeting, not a, hey, Lavender is going to meet or the blue area is going to meet, but you're going to, Ty is going to set up a meeting with a parent. The best way to do that is to go ahead in your calendar. Let's say it's going to be, 10 o'clock. It's not on Saturday, but we're going to click there. And I can say, I'm going to meet with Ty. When you click on more options, you can install, as I have, this GoToMeeting add-on. And so all you'll have to do when you're signed in is click this add button, and it is going to put all the information right here into this calendar event. And so I can say, this is going to be a 30-minute meeting on Saturday. And if I wanted to type more information, we'll be talking about cooking quiche for Easter, whatever. Whatever our meeting is about, you can put some more information here, and then you would just be putting in the email of who you're sending it to, and then you can save that. So that is the process for creating a one-time meeting, and you can do that right inside your Google Calendar as long as you install the GoToMeeting Google Calendar plugin. And I'll add this to our slides. I actually didn't put this into our slides yet, and I will add it. So this is a free plugin that you do, and when you add it, then you have the option of adding the GoToMeeting. So I'm not going to actually send that to Ty. I'm going to delete that, but that's a little demo of how that works. So what other questions have we had in chat? Carrie's asking, does the app look the same for kids on iPads as it does on computers? I know Google Hangouts was different. Yes, I think it is a little bit different. However, you don't have to do anything extra. With Google Hangouts, to get that grid view, that's kind of the, Hollywood squares, everybody's in their own square, you can see everybody at once. That is an option both on the iPad as well as on the computer version. Ty is asking, can you make that recurring? Yes, you absolutely can. So you can make, what we're setting up for you all is our home rooms that are going to be persistent. And actually, Jeremy, I think I just saw that if I don't make the link a custom, if it just uses numbers, then it's not going to be tied to anybody's name. So that may simplify that process. But those rooms, so for instance, and if Monty wanted to do that, well, everybody has a meeting room for themselves. So I'll share this really quick. So when I go to my GoToMeeting homepage here, I have a personal meeting room. So we can go right now to Wes's personal meeting room, gotomeet.me/my name, and we can meet. Some people like to use those. I prefer to just create one-time meetings, but you can make those repeat when you make those, and that's just up to you. But a room would be something like, kind of what we're doing for homeroom. And that's what I think we're talking about doing for lower division potentially is having a persistent room that would be like, this is Lisa Jordan's room. This is Jennifer Hensley's room. Yes. So Ty is saying I have a few kids I'm checking in with weekly. You could just create a room, Ty. That might be the easiest. And then that's a persistent room. It'd just be a matter with the time of when that happens. But then the link is the same. Catherine is saying, how do we add the GoToMeeting calendar again? All right. So let me do this on a demo account. So I've got a student account. Are you all seeing my screen here? Frank, can you see the screen? I'm not able to see anybody's chat right now.
No, just I'm seeing your camera view.
Seeing camera. Okay. Let me present here again. All right, so I'm going to show you on a student account. All right, so Kathy, I will put a link into our slideshow for this. And this is, well, actually, this is called a plugin for GoToMeeting. And so you're going, and I haven't added it on this account. That's why I'm going here. So you're going to go to this link. It says GoToMeeting for Google Calendar. You're going to click the button that says Add to Chrome. And it's going to say, are you sure? You're going to let it, read all your information. Yes, I'm sure. So I'm going to add the extension. This has over 200,000 users, which is a good sign. We do want to be very careful when you install extensions that you trust that organization in order to put that on. So we'll give you a direct link to that. And now when I go to my Google Calendar, I can go ahead and click somewhere, and inside, when I have more options, I'm going to have this GoToMeeting option. You will have to sign in for the first time. That's with your Google account. So you're going to put your Google account and we're going to have to troubleshoot that. It should be presenting me now with the option to log in with my Google account. And actually, this has been we've seen this. This is a little bit confusing actually on the creation of these accounts originally, because we were wanting to just log in with Google and not with anything else. So we'll help you troubleshoot that. But it should be you add it to your calendar and then you log in and you're able to add events just like you could do with the Google Hangouts Meet. Okay, what other questions do we have from chat?
So Wes, if I schedule a meeting for Monday and use that GoToMeeting extension, and people respond to that, that will give them the link that they need to have the software, everything right there in that calendar invite.
That is correct. In fact, that might be a great thing to think about for Monday is if you want to go ahead and set that up and invite, and I can come as well, we can have everybody join a meeting as a participant and kind of see how that works. And then the rooms are all going to be created. So then you can kind of work out a schedule of saying, from this time to this time, we want you to go ahead and meet in your rooms. And so that'll be a little bit of a different process. Instead of going to the calendar, people are going to go to their GoToMeeting room and enter it. You can create the calendar invitations as well, but you wouldn't need to generate a new GoToMeeting link. That link is going to be persistent every time you use that room. And that's where, as Jeremy showed, the copying and pasting of it, they'll copy and paste that in. So Ty's asking, and that room will only open when you start the meeting, right? Yes, that is exactly right. Now, Google Hangouts Meet in the last week literally change that, and we have to make a change in our administration panel so that now teachers can start and stop the Hangouts, and they're not just there persistently. But yes, this will not let any of the participants join until a teacher or an assistant, somebody who's an organizer, is in the room, and it also allows any of the organizers to end the meeting for everybody. What other questions do we have? I'm not sure about that question from Dallas.
Yeah, I have to think about that one.
What question is it?
It's
All
about
right.
some.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Dallas about that.
Okay. Ty is asking about the rooms. Yes, Ty, we're going to be setting you up with those rooms a little bit later today. And yeah, you should be good to go. Basically, Ty has a phone in her office. So Casady staff that have a phone in an office, for the most part, are already set up on GoToMeeting. But we have, I don't know how many, like 40 other licenses or something. We have a number of licenses that have not been assigned. Welcome back, Marcia. And so that's why those of us that don't have an office phone, you're being set up as a new user, and you'll be able to then log in. So, but yes, Ty, you're all set up. Any other questions that you all have? Either you can put into the chat, or if you'd like to say them out loud, or you can raise your hand. I turned my Hangouts grid back on so I can see all of your beautiful and wonderful faces. Remember, there is not such a thing as a silly or a dumb question, even though you might think it is, because this is very new for a lot of us. Few of you have done some of this before, but this is very new for most of us.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Marcia.
I missed a good part of this because I was totally frozen. I texted Clint, and I think Jen was as well. I finally powered my computer off and back on. I'm wondering, as I told Clint, my home network is on Cox Communications.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if that's a big problem of all this, because I continually get frozen and
yeah.
It's
So let's address that at a couple different levels. So number one, if your computer is freezing, please send an email, if you haven't already, to help desk at Casady, because we need to figure out, our support team needs to help figure out what's going on with your computer. You should not be freezing up. It could be a variety of things, but let the help desk team get with you so that, worst case, your computer can get backed up and restored. But there's some other things sometimes going on with extensions and other things that we need to turn off, and they can help troubleshoot that. So that's number one. So number two, internet. Oh my gosh, we have 4 people in our house sometimes simultaneously connecting. And today Cox is having trouble in our neighborhood, and they said it wouldn't be fixed until 3:05. I had a phone call at 11 with a student, and I had to take it on my phone. So this is why it's good that we have multiple people that are able to be in these calls. I think it would be a great plan for you all to plan for more than one person to be there when you're doing a conference. You wouldn't have to, but that's a good thing. And if you have your computer go on the fritz or your internet is down, you can pick up your phone and you can dial in. And so that phone number for the conference call is right there in that same copied email. It has click this to join, or you can dial this number and put this code in, and you can join it with your phone. So Marcia, let our tech team help you get your computer issues resolved. The other thing I would say, this entire remote learning is really taxing our, internet at home and all of those kinds of things. And so, again, you can send an email to help desk, and we can try to, offer you some advice and some help. I think we're all responsible at this point for having home internet. But as an example, I've been working with Chris Halpern in our upper division math department in the last week, and he's chose to upgrade his internet. We also plugged him in and wired him. So he was having a lot of difficulty on Wi-Fi, but when he plugged his computer in, suddenly, he was able to connect, and that was working. So anyway, please engage with our help desk, and we will assist you if you are having instability issues. And we'll also talk through these other options, because it's good for parents to know as well. It's the best to be here with video and get to see everybody. That's absolutely the best way. But sometimes things come up and things happen. And so it's nice to have a backup, which is, you can pick up the phone and then have that plan that there'll be at least one other teacher that's in there. Charlie, you are extremely popular. Would you like to greet everyone, Charlie? You could say hi if you wanted to. Your mom will have to unmute her mic. So.
Say hi. Hi.
Charlie, is there something you've enjoyed doing outside since you've been at home during this time? Are you getting to ride your bike? Are you getting to do anything fun in the backyard?
Oh yeah, play football with my dad.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That's awesome.
I don't know. One of the kids.
Hey, just back to the support note, we're going to send some information out. It's going to be like a document of some things that, suggested things for you guys to try to hopefully make the experience a little bit better with your laptops if you're having a struggling experience. Also, I'm going to put two things in the chat. One of them is the window or the web address for you to go log into all of your GoToMeeting stuff. It'll show you what products you have assigned to you from the school. So if you guys want to click on that now, you can. The other thing I'm going to put in is a link for a speed test if you're on Cox, and that way you can see what kind of speeds you're getting at home. It's the direct Cox speed test. So.
And that is excellent. And, mentioning with Chris as well, he was paying for a lot of internet that he wasn't getting. And so they actually changed out the hardware that he has that plugs into Cox, and he is in a lot better shape. But I know Carrie just talked about hardwire. That can be a very quick thing that wouldn't require any more money. We have those adapters. If you don't have an adapter to wire your MacBook Air laptop, the technology department has those. We have Ethernet cables. So, you may have to change where you're working because you may have to be within the cable's reach of your, internet connection. But that is, in almost all cases, the way to get your maximum speed is to plug in. So yeah, it depends. The question Ty has is AT&T going to be faster? It really depends upon where you are and what's available in your location. Generally, Cox has a Gigablast product. We're getting 300 megabytes down and 30 up, but they have a tier that's even faster than that. And I wish they would just donate that to teachers during this whole COVID-19 crisis. So I've been thinking about writing to them and asking them about that. But it depends on your neighborhood and where you are and what's available. So, either AT&T or Cox are probably going to be your fastest options. One thing I have heard is that companies are suspending data caps, and so and I think that's true for cell phone companies too. And Jeremy, we can do some research and put that on our frequently asked questions. But with Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, our daughter today, we had internet problems, and she was in class for I think with Ms. Gerard maybe in 10th grade English. She had to tether to her phone. Well, there's limits on that, but during this COVID-19 crisis, the cell phone companies are lifting those. So anyway, as a backup, if you end up having to do that, not as a main, I got to do that all the time, probably, but that's another option. And they are making accommodations for teachers everywhere to release, and students to release those data caps or to make those not apply. All right. Any other questions? Anyone has? All right. So we will follow up with you. We'll share this recording. Minus maybe a little of my mess up there in the middle when my screen wasn't being shared, but I'll send you this link. I've already sent you the slides, but we'll send those again, and then we'll plan for Monday. Clint's going to set up a meeting for us all to join, but that will be inside GoToMeeting, and then however you want to set up, Clint, as far as a schedule, practice time, and we'll be there to facilitate. Dallas is asking what's LogMeIn. LogMeIn is a parent company which owns Jive, that is our phone system. It owns this platform, which is called GoToMeeting, and it also owns a platform called GoToWebinar. If you watched any of those Seesaw PD in your PJs, they do all of those in GoToWebinar. And Casady School now has, thank you, Jeremy, a GoToWebinar license. And so this morning I spent an hour with Nathan actually showing him that and how that works. And so I would anticipate, we don't know exactly when, but at the time we do a town hall meeting. And so if Nathan, Josh, Betty Jane, others, directors, if you or Clint, if you want to have a town hall, this is something we'll be talking about. The platform we have is not like this. It's not where everybody's webcam is on and everybody can chat. It is a webinar where there's content that's presented, and we can ask people poll questions and we can ask for their feedback, but it's not set up for this kind of collaboration. It's a webinar, so it's much more controlled and limiting in terms of what people can do. They can watch and listen, and they can respond to polls and send us information, but there's no chat window and there's no webcam for everybody. So LogMeIn, to answer Dallas's question, that company. It's the parent company of all that.
Okay, so I will send out a calendar invite later with the GoToMeeting link in that invite if I don't forget this time, and feel free to remind me if I do.
If it worked, it wouldn't be so bad.
Andrea had asked
Not
earlier
okay.
if there were iPads available at the school. I checked with Michelle Freeland. She does have a few more of the older models. So if you want to reach out to her via email, she's going up to the school at 5 o'clock today. So you can arrange for her to leave one for you.
Send an email to help desk. So we just have those routed, and the
Okay.
beautiful thing is it's all in the ticketing system, and Michelle
Okay.
will get it quickly. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording.
All right.
Maybe. Nope, I got to go to the other corner.
So
Well-
sad.